Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you. Welcome to Unity San Francisco, and welcome to everyone who's live streaming with us. We are so delighted to have you with us today. As everyone here comes in to take their seats, we are so delighted to have you and to take this moment, especially this moment, to celebrate and to pray. This week, this last couple of days have been intense for us as a community and as a nation. And as I was coming up to platform today, I got this tweet which ran across my phone. Let's just share it with you. We take our loving actions, our acts of kindness and compassion. These are rewarded 1,000-fold. Those who are so violent and filled with hate act in complete ignorance of the spiritual realms. There is an accounting. So remembering that there's always an accounting, a balancing, a perfect balance sheet. In these times when there is so much violence and hatred in the world, it is often easy to react, and not in the most loving way. So this song is an incredible reminder of who we really are and what serves us best.
I am light, I am light.
Red Chaplains.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. It's all light.
We take this moment to remember in our prayer that we are not anything on the outside. Skin, religious affiliation, sex, gender. We are light. We are love. We are the divine incarnate in this world, in this place, and in this time. We join with prayerful people across the globe, holding in this moment that love matters, that kindness matters, that generosity is contagious, that peace abides in the midst of us. And from this place, we know the truth of who we are. We are God's beloved, right here and right now, shining light, shining love, shining affection across the world and to each and every individual, each and every being. No exceptions, no exclusions. Listen to these words again, one more time, and open your heart to the truth within them.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light. I am light.
And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Unity San Francisco. So excited to be here this morning for us to join together, to come together and to celebrate love and light and truth. So it is really a privilege to be here with each other and with people around the world. And it's a privilege to stand for something. It's a privilege to stand with others, standing for something. And so many years ago, the group, the collective, came together and asked, what is it that we want to have as a vision statement and a mission statement and some core values to help us guide even the discussions, even the projects that we take on. So our vision statement for Unity San Francisco: we are a vibrant spiritual community, honoring the divine presence in all, and radiating the unity message through loving service, through service that is loving. So I ask you, I ask myself, do I feel these words? And if you do, if these words feel good, I ask you to say them with me so that we can use that power of agreement with our intellect, our consciousness, our hearts, and our words. So if you like these words, please say them with me. We are a vibrant spiritual community, honoring the divine presence in all and radiating the unity message through loving service. And so it is. So it is. Come on. Another really fun thing about a healthy spiritual community is having a healthy calendar of events, right? The stuff that we get to enjoy, doing the quiet soothing, coming together on a Wednesday night. We're trying to have that be a much more of a quiet, midweek, restful, spiritual, comforting place. And we've been doing different Wednesdays, each Wednesday of the month. But right now, we have the 8th annual, this Wednesday night, 8 years in a row, with the Reverend Elizabeth Hager, the Candlelight Evening of Remembrance. Bring your photos. We've already been building the altar. Here's my mom and dad. So I'm going to be here Wednesday. It's at 7 o'clock. Bring a photo, bring a story. It's going to be a nice evening where she builds a beautiful altar with candles. We're going to have some music, some meditation, time to share, and to remember those who came before with love and appreciation. So come Wednesday at 7. Also, we're doing our annual fundraiser, which this year we decided to do it in November and to call it the Harvest Jamboree. So please come November 3rd. The tickets are on sale today, and today is the last day to get those early bird ticket prices. And it is one of our major fundraiser for the Unity San Francisco for the year. And the prices today are $60. They will be going up to $75. And then please tell your friends, and it's very family oriented. It's on Saturday from noon until 4. There's going to be line dancing with a professional line dancer who's been teaching dancing for 30 years. Zoe Balfour will be here, and she's also going to be our DJ playing some tunes for us to help. Oh, and then the auction. Oh my God, there's so many things on the auction list. These are only a few of them. Somebody's going to Galway, Ireland, a winner of an auction, or a resort apartment in Baja, Mexico, off the Sea of Cortez, sunrise in the morning. The Byron Katie School of the Work, 9 days with Byron Katie in Ojai, California. These are being auctioned off this Saturday. Downtown apartment in Palm Springs, an Upper West Side apartment in New York City, and other prizes.
Whole apartment just to visit it for a weekend, right?
I wanted to receive it as an inheritance. No. So check out our website and check out those list of prizes. Also, see us today, Alan Klein and Connie, for purchasing tickets today for that early bird discount price. Now, I want to point your attention to the Sunday Bulletin, which I do take pride in because I type it. And these different events, some of these auction items are listed in here too, but there's a spiritual connection card. And this is a really fun practice for us. We want you to let us know who you are and how you heard about us. So taking a moment to fill out the front side of this. And we're going to be returning to this spiritual connection card a little bit later in the service and tying it in to the message and our spiritual practices for the week. So thank you, and you're going to be later on dropping this in the offering basket. Now, oh yes, and online there's a button right below the video. There's a button for spiritual connection card. And if you're here for the first time, we want to say welcome. We're so happy and proud to be here in Unity, standing for concepts of love and inclusivity and a world that works for everyone. So if you are here for the first time, we just want to say welcome. If you have not already received your first-time guest gifts that we put together with Volunteers with Love, they're right over there, and see us after the service as well. So let's go on moving forward with celebration and song. Please stand if you're willing and able as we welcome Jennifer Morrison and Ken to the stage.
Thank you, Tyler. We're going to do Use Me today. So those of you who know it, join in. For those of you online, you'll see the words on the screen. Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Command my hands, what must they do? Command my mind, it's
God is bringing
Welcome back, everybody. If you haven't had time to shake hands or to give everybody a hug, I promise there'll be time after service. And for those of you on Livestream, welcome back. I also wanted to point out for people who aren't here physically, there is a way to bid on all of those items you see. You can bid by phone. So write us here in the office and we can give you more information. All the details are on the our website about those auction items. And also coming up in 2 weeks, we have a special event here. It's the Spiritual Lessons of Moana, and we're reprising the Spiritual Lessons of Moana. We did it about 1.5 years ago, and it's back by popular demand. So we're going to have Misa and Christopher and a whole bunch of other singers here, all sharing the music, which is written by the same man who wrote Hamilton. So it's some incredible music and a really profound story that I think it's time to revisit again about what we're called to do and calling forth the hero in each and every one of us. So bring family, bring friends, bring your grandkids, bring the neighbors next door. It'll be a fun service and lots for the kids to do downstairs. All right? So with that, it's time for our daily word, and I'm going to invite Dave Cooperberg up to share that with us.
Hello. It's now time for the daily word. A time to let these words of truth become part of your morning reflection, your morning meditation or prayer. The daily word is an affirmation of the divine truth that is always present. It is an opportunity to anchor and our awareness to know that everything is in divine order. Now I invite you to take a deep breath and to pause in the silence, to close your eyes if you wish. I invite you to let these words become your words. Today's daily word is remembering you. Our affirmation is, I lovingly remember all who have come before me. Know this with me? I lovingly remember all who have come before me. Our hearts are lifted anytime we can share poignant memories of those who are no longer with us. They continue to live in us because their memories live in our hearts. Dear ones, we are remembering you especially today. Your presence in this world has blessed many lives, and we are grateful for you. We give thanks for your courage in overcoming challenges and making your mark in this world. We remember that even though you may no longer be here beside us, you are a divine creation, part of all that is and all that always will be. As we pay homage to you and all our departed ancestors, we remember that in spirit there is nothing that can ever separate us. The oneness of all life expands into eternity, and we are eternally one with each other and with our divine source. And so it is.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's light and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I had planned this talk to be about the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, and the traditions and the impact that all of our ancestors have had on us. I know in my life that that continues to be true. And yet, so much happened this week. And yesterday, another gunman attacked people in the middle of a bris, in the middle of a naming ceremony for a little baby boy. Right? The insanity, the anger, the hatred, the vitriol that it takes to do something like that is just unfathomable to me, yet it happens over and over and over again. Again last night, there were people gathered holding candlelight vigils for the victims. And this is not the first time I've gotten up and talked about this. This is not the first time for any of us that we've had to face this. Just in our country alone, this last year we had the church shooting in Texas, and the year before was the one in Charlotte. And this weekend alone, also 2 African American men were gunned down outside of Kroger's in Kentucky because the gunman couldn't get into the Baptist church he was trying to shoot up. And so he drove past a grocery store and killed a 67-year-old grandfather who was buying poster board for his grandson's school project, and another random 67-year-old woman. And it goes on, and we can light candles, and we can pray, and we should, and we do. And yet, it is impossible not to recognize that hatred, anti-Semitic hatred in this country and in this world is prevalent, historic, and talk about ancestors. But the ancestors of the millions and millions of Jews slaughtered in the Holocaust and around the world have an impact on us today. have an impact on our lives to this moment. And how do we hold this? How do we hold all this where it has become commonplace and so easy to lash out on our phones and in our social media and in print, and there seems to be absolutely no repercussion. There seems to be no repercussion for words of violence and hatred and otherness, and that there seems to be infinite reward for cleaving groups to find advantage, to find a position of power, and then to keep it. I spoke to you a couple weeks ago about how I feel like there's really time for us to make a shift and to reclaim moral authority, right? And so what do I mean by that? Moral is defined as concerned with the principles of right or wrong behavior and the goodness of badness of human character. Right? Simple definition. And you might say, oh, wait, but don't we teach here in unity? Don't we teach that we are all good, we are all divine? Jennifer just sang it up here. We are divine inside, right? And it's true. But character is something that we take on, like a character. It is something that we learn, right? So when we're talking about the badness of human character, it is something that we have superimposed on our being. If you look at the babies of this world, the children, the true innocents, they don't have badness as part of their innate being. They just have needs. And sometimes when our needs are not met or fulfilled, we develop ways, behaviors, characteristics to get them met. And then we keep doing it over and over and over again till it becomes detrimental and we can't even see the detriment. The man in Florida who sent pipe bombs across the country, the shooter at the synagogue in Pittsburgh, believed in what they were doing. Believed very strongly that they were doing the right thing. And how do we hold this against what we consider to be the value of human life? It is perfectly valid to have our opinions, to have our positions, and to stake them out. As a moral being, it is not okay to belittle and ridicule and subjugate anyone else because of your beliefs. It is not okay for any of us to subjugate or to belittle or to put down or to think less than someone because they don't hold the same political views as you, because they vote differently than you, because they belong to another race. But we all belong to the human race, and yet we have subdivided humanity into all these little compartments. And then when we do, when we find it valuable to call ourselves a gay American, a transgender American, a Latina American, a transplanted American, a proud American, we find it ways to make everyone else wrong or bad or evil. And this is our principle, that we are all divine. So we're right back full circle. We're all divine. Even the people we violently and vehemently disagree with, they're divine too. And if we can choose the high road, once again, it may not reap us rewards. There is no instant gratification in loving those who don't love you back, right? It feels awkward and painful and difficult. But if we are constantly just going for the instant gratification of winning this battle, winning this fight, winning this election, we lose sight of the moral principle that we are all here to elevate the human race. We are here to show our divinity, our light, and to be that light for others, to create a level playing field for all people to succeed. No, that is not Democrat or Republican, that is not left-wing or right-wing, that is what we are called for spiritually, for seeing and fostering each other. Period. My good does not come at anyone else's expense. That is a unity principle. I am deserving. I am worthy. I am entitled to the inheritance of the abundance of the universe, but I do not rob it from you. There is an infinite supply of good in the world. My good is mine, and no one can take it from me. That's a unity truth. But to blame others and to try and limit their good serves no one. No one. The other definition that I found of moral is holding or manifesting high principles for proper conduct. Right? So again, we are called here to hold higher ways of being in the face of evil. To stand in front of it and say, now this is not being a doormat, saying this will not stand. Calling people evil because they don't agree with you will not stand in this world. I will not have it. I will stand for love because I value all human life. I will stand for people who are migrants because my parents were migrants and my grandparents came here fleeing religious persecution. This whole country was founded on people who were fleeing authoritarian regimes. That is who we are. Whether you agree with me or not, it is the history of our country. And I believe in facts, that we are a country of immigrants. We all came here from someone else, unless you're Native American, and even then you came from Asia at some point in your distant ancestry. If we're going to honor the Day of the Dead, if we are going to honor the wholeness of our humanity, we will understand that we all came from Africa. All of us. And when we can honor that heritage, when we can honor that understanding, that wholeness, that fact that we are all descended from a one line of humanity, and then the ridiculousness of who you are and what race you are or what sexual orientation or what gender or what nationality is meaningless. And we follow rules. We follow rules of conduct. Shooting people up, mailing bombs, calling people out on national media for being bad and evil, is not in my rule book of how to behave as a human being, as a spiritual leader. And you are all spiritual leaders. So the synonyms of moral are righteous, upright, upstanding, high-minded, principled, honorable, honest, just, noble, incorruptible, scrupulous, respectable, decent living, and law-abiding. Those are the things that we should aspire to. Those are the things we should call everyone up to. Those are the reasons we should make our borders very organized and allow legal immigration in an orderly and abundant fashion, because there's more than enough here. There is no lack in the United States. If you guys want to believe in lack, I suggest you go to another church, because I'm only going to preach about abundance here, right? We live in an abundant world and an abundant country, and there is more than enough for everyone to go around. If we stop constricting the flow of people coming to us, we will be blessed by the energy and the enthusiasm of people who long for what we already have. And the more we give, the more we will receive. So as I stand here and as you sit here and stand up as we walk out of these doors today and walk into our lives all across the world, we can stand up for righteous behavior, for moral strength, for understanding that we will not vote for people who ridicule others. We will not abide people who put others down or call them evil because they don't agree with us. When we take our rights back to be the champions of truth, of honesty, of clean living and law abiding, because we are spiritual people, then we shift the equation. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. You are all spiritual beings, and your human experience demands that you step forward fully in your spirituality, saying that everyone deserves a meal. Everyone deserves a chance to succeed. And yes, we call them up too as we give them a meal, as we hand them shelter so they're not out in the cold. It's unimaginable in this city, with all the wealth that we have, that people live in tents. Unimaginable. And they're sent here, or they come here because of our weather. Who could blame them, right? This is a gorgeous place. It's a gorgeous place on this sunshiny October day. Yes, and my heart aches for a righteous solution, for a whole and just accounting of our values. And I'm no longer willing to be complicit in talking about it's all good. It's all good here, and it is all good. But I'll take that applause, because I will not stand here and pretend that there are things that don't need fixing. There are tons of things that need fixing. I think everyone on the planet will agree with that, right? There are things that we need to fix, right? Right. The world is not working as it could. So how do we step up and do that? How do we make that difference? Very interestingly, as I was reading all the reports of the violence of this week and the hate of this week, I also got an article that was fascinating. It came across my desk. I'll just skip forward to it. It said, kindness is contagious, right? It said, there's a new study that actually proves it. And the story they told was really fascinating. This gentleman was in line at some bakery in some city here in the United States, and it's like the one on our corner here where they sell cronuts, and you have to get there early to get all the cronuts before they roll out. So he's in line, and he's waiting for scones. They make the best scones at this bakery. And he's waiting, and he sees the huge pile of scones getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and the woman right in front of him is at the counter, and there's one scone left in the case, one scone, and that woman orders a croissant. So, right? And he gets up to order his scone, and the guy behind him said, wait, that's my scone. And he was behind him in line. Our guy had been waiting there longer than the guy a couple rows back. But that gentleman at that moment turned around and said, you want to split it? And he said, yeah. And he ordered another pastry, and the two of them sat down at a table and split the scone and the other pastry, and they shared it. Now, they shared nothing in common. They were not of the same race. They were not of the same generation. They didn't do the same education. They didn't have the same job. They didn't have the same political views, but they both loved the scone. So they had something in common, a place to start, and that act of kindness spreads. Right? That act of kindness is one thing that can never be taken away. Good given in the world is never lost. It always comes back. It always comes back. Maybe not from where you gave it, but it comes back to you, right? And this also came across, I'm going to go back this way. This also came across my phone. It's from the Talmud, especially after the horrific shooting in the synagogue. Do not be daunted by the enormity of the world's grief. Do justly now, right now, today. love mercy now. Can we pray and actively seek mercy for those shooters? Think about how difficult a spiritual task that is. Can we forgive? Walk humbly now. Humbly meaning that you don't have to shrink from the role, the job you have, but to understand that the person you might interact with or confront is also divine, is also seeking their truth. And in that humility, we know that somewhere in between, when we split the scone, when we share the experience, lies wholeness, lies the real definition of oneness. And you're not obligated to complete this work. How many of us have stopped? I know I have, because it's too overwhelming. I can't feed all the homeless. I can't take care of all the problems of the world. I cannot fix American politics. And you don't have to. But you're not free to abandon the effort. I love that line. Doesn't mean that you have to be able to get to the result you wish in this lifetime. Jesus didn't see the results he wanted in his lifetime, did he? No. But the principles that were taught by Jesus about love your neighbor as yourself, about to give to everyone who asks, those principles are still valid and resonating and being called forth right here and right now. So it is our job. It is our job to show compassion. It is our job to give kindness. It is our job to know that more darkness will not drive out the darkness in the world, that our anger will not replace their hate. Only love can do that. And as Jennifer sang, it's like only light can do that. Only light and love. But we're called to be fierce in this. We're called to be radically fierce in it. I mean, this week, for me, has been overwhelming in a great way, because it has shaken up my complacency, right? If you saw it, I put it on my Facebook page, and I encourage you all to go look at it or get the New York Times. There is a photo essay of the war in Somalia and what it is doing to children. The starvation of millions of people. And looking at these pictures, I warn you, is horrific. I couldn't put them on the slide deck. But they are important that we not turn away. That people are being systematically starved in this country, in this world, and with cooperation of us by not saying anything, by not saying this is wrong and it must end. So I encourage you to go to my Facebook page or go to the New York Times and look at this article and share it, to look at what it means and to find an agency or a way of giving to make a difference, because it's the only thing that matters. Kindness given in the world is always returned, is always returned. We need more love. We need more hate. And I know there's no lack, okay? So as we breathe into that once again, realize that you have everything you need, right? You have everything you need to make a difference. You have all the love that you need. All the compassion already exists within you. The kindness, the strength, the moral fiber, the serenity, the wisdom to take action. And it is more difficult than the first image of kindness I showed you, because making that kind of loving expression sometimes makes us have to reach out to people who we don't know, who look different than us, who we might sometimes call the other, and takes us out of our comfort zone. to go to the places where we don't feel as safe and still stand in our wholeness, to go to the edge of advocating our principles, our moral standards, and do so fiercely and lovingly and compassionately. There will be mistakes made as I travel this road. I will make mistakes. But I would rather be making mistakes on this path than sitting back pretending like it doesn't matter. So I invite us all to walk down this road, to be the fierce advocates for love and kindness and for moral principles in this world of honesty, forthrightness, and then apply our spiritual understanding and our spiritual teachings to every interaction of our lives. Let's take that to our time of meditation, right?
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Notice as we sing that song, there is only love. Only love. Notice where that catches in your throat, in your heart, and you see the things that aren't love. You see the reactions of your own body, your own judgment of the world's. Breathe into them. Breathe into them and let them be. Just examine them. For that anger and hostility or retraction, that unwillingness to share, can just be released as simply as opening our hands. we can let go of anger and fear. We can let go of the place in us that withholds our wholeness out of fear or judgment. And fill it with love. Love for yourself. Breathe in and love every part of your being. Love the part of you you think is unlovable. Love the part of someone else that you think is unlovable. Love, love, love. Everything else can just fade away in the silence. The scriptures tell us that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten. That's you. Spirit so loved the world that you are here. You are that embodiment of the gift of love. Whew. You are love itself, incarnated in this moment.
There is only
love. Know that with us. There is only love. Love that heals. Love that sets us free. There is only love. And so it is.
Oh, that's a lot to feel. Thank you. Thank you to all of us. To stand for something and to stand with other people and to agree to hold a hand, whether on the phone or in person, or across the internet to a computer screen, and you're watching this in the future, we agree with you and for your good too. And we repeat. And when I fall down, I get back up and do it again. So we have these spiritual practices on the connection card that you put your name on earlier. And the question is, how can I apply these feelings, these ideas, these truths later and throughout the week? How can I watch this video again while I'm cleaning my apartment and have it in the background and think of these ideas again? And other ideas like pray with the prayer chaplain today after service and anchor whatever good you want to agree about. We will pray with you. On here, you can also have other spiritual practices to choose from, suggestions. I work for justice. If you feel that, mark it. I choose love, if you feel that. Or write your own practice on this card. Also, if you have a prayer request or online, there is a button for you to submit a prayer request. There's also a button for you to join us in the spiritual practices. There's also a place for you to write down your request or share with Ken and Deanne, they're the ones who read this card, what you are grateful for, what you are manifesting, what is the good in your life. And when Ken or Deanne sit here during the week, they will look at your card and they will agree with you again that your good and more good is yours now. So put down what you are affirming and share it with Ken and Deanne. This will go in the offering basket. I work here 2 days a week. I get to answer the phones, and I get to pray with people sometimes, including a caller one time from Montana, right? Asking for prayer. I was so honored. And then she wanted to know where a church was near her. My fingers were flying on the internet, finding her a church. So call us. We are here for you, whether it's email, if you would like someone to call you, if you'd like a reverend to call you, write it down that you'd like them to call you this week. We want to agree with you and stand for love and inclusivity and justice and a better world that works for everyone. We also ask that you support the spiritual house where you are spiritually fed. So we do have the offering envelope in the chair in front of you in the little pocket. You can also put a credit card on here. You can see me or our other office assistants after the service to give electronically on the iPad. And then also, if you give electronically, like I did today, we want you to be in that ritual. So use this little auto tithe ritual card that says I gave, and when that offering basket goes by, I want to put something in, including my love, my joy, and my gratitude in that offering basket. So to talk about giving and receiving, let's welcome back Ken Daigle.
So I have nothing left to say. It's a rarity. It's a rarity. And there is no lack. There's no lack. There's no lack. So whatever you're giving today here at Union San Francisco, just know that we are so grateful, and we use every penny that you give, everything you see is an expression of that to further this work and this mission, to make a world that works better for everyone. No exceptions, no exclusions. And that this message is vital, I think, for the world. And I take responsibility for that. So if you have any questions or want to talk more about how to foster the work of this ministry, how to join in, and how to contribute, I invite you to seek me after or get on my calendar and let's go talk about it. I have 4 lunches and breakfasts scheduled for this week, so I'm so excited to be back and in the work, in the work. So we have an offering affirmation that goes, divine love as me. That what you're giving is yourself. There's no separation from what you're giving. So what you're giving in every moment is you. Blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. So when we receive, good too, to take it and say thank you. Right? So can we know that together? Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. And so it is.
Heart, don't fail me now. Courage, don't desert me. Don't turn back now that we're here. People always say life is full of choices. No one ever mentions fear or how the world can seem so vast. On a journey to the past. Somewhere down this road, I know once a time I must have had them too. Home, love, family. I will never be complete until I find you. One step at a time, one hope, then another. Who knows where this road may go? Back to who I was, on to find my future. Things my heart still needs to know. Yes, let this be a sign. Let this road be mine. Let it lead me to my best and bring me home at last.
Jennifer Morrison, Damon Hope on drums, Andrew Higgins on bass and keyboard, and Michael Grossman on piano. Our amazing music team. Yeah, thank you. And all of you, thank you. This is the time for the blessing of the children. So a couple important announcements. First, I said the wrong country earlier. It's the children of Yemen, not Somalia. So it's Yemen, so excuse me for that, and still go look it up. I was so called that I made a donation online in the moment, and it's just the beginning, just because something had to be done at that moment. The next is I went to go find my daughter and husband downstairs, and they're missing in the wind. So if anyone finds them, let me know. Because Milan went in, water broke this morning. So our youth and family director is on the way to the hospital right now, and her baby boy is on the way. So we're sending her all of our love, our energy, our prayers, knowing, and here they come. Here come the kids. Yay! Let's sing it. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woohoo! Yay! So JD, what did you guys do today?
Well, what holiday is up next, Roma?
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween, yeah.
So everywhere we go, we see signs of Halloween, and we did jack-o'-lanterns today of all the different faces that are feelings that we can have. What are some of your feelings, Roma? You remember?
And sad.
Sad.
And mad. And happy.
Yeah, happy.
And then one of her feelings was rainbow, and I wrote sorry. Oh, yes, it's a rainbow. So that was our children's lesson today.
It's a rainbow. Good. But we'll sing about that in a minute. And so we have this children's blessing. It goes, "You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are." And we know that together for Milan, her children, and all the children of the world. You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is. So we have today, thanks to everybody who made this service possible, our prayer chaplains, amazing. You will be in the prayer chaplain corner directly after this. If you have something you'd like to hold in prayer, there'll be people there to pray with you. For our music team, yay. For our ushers and greeters, phenomenal. For the meditation before service, thank you incredibly for everything that makes this possible. Our board of trustees, our sound team, I could go on and on and on, so I'll stop. We have a lot going on today. Is First Steps here in the sanctuary at 1 o'clock on Wednesday evening, the Day of Remembrance with Reverend Elizabeth. On Thursday, Deanne's class, The Great Work of Your Life. And then on Saturday, our Jamboree, yay, an auction. So make sure you get your tickets as you're leaving today for the Jamboree, and stand as you're willing and able, and join us for our closing song, True Colors. for our transformational affirmations. I'll say these statements once and I invite you to affirm them after me. I embrace kindness as the path to heaven.
I embrace kindness as the path to heaven.
I work for justice.
I work for justice.
I champion mercy.
I champion mercy.
And I choose love.
I choose love.
Now we'll do a wee version. And I see my
True colors shine through. I see your true colors. That's why I love you. So I'm unafraid to let them show. Our true colors, our true colors are beautiful. Like the rainbow.
Happy Sunday, everyone, and so it is.